Land of Dreams.
Take the trip with us
on Radio SI.
I wanted to be a marine biologist, a secret agent, or a circus performer. Ironically, I never realized that I would fall into the entertainment business. Most people don't love their job. If you can wake up and go to work and not hate Monday, and not hate your boss, and not hate your job, and know you can do that for the next 20 years, you've succeeded. They're about 8 inches long and I don't know how much in meters.
So you're a knife thrower as well?
Yes.
Okay, and you throw knives at?
People. My name is Sajles Šinkovec.
Silas.
Silas.
How do you spell that?
With 2 S's. Sajles, or Sajles. I was born in a 1954 Chevy while my mom was on tour right outside New York City. What was the second? How old am I? Old enough to lie about my age?
Sex?
Again? Yes.
Male?
Hold on, let me check. Yep, still there.
So what do you do for a living?
Depends on how much money you have and the mood I'm in. No, entertainment. I'm strictly a dance teacher and choreographer.
Fair enough.
I work with burlesque, comedy, stand-up, improv. I do street theater. I work with freak shows. I do knife throwing. I work with bullwhips. I breathe fire. I do juggling. I do Harry Houdini escapes. I'm kind of a proper gypsy. I'm never in one place too long, and I don't have sex with my daughter.
I need a kiss.
Ironically, I'd come from Croatia to Slovenia a few years ago. I'd come by train. This woman, nice lady, had come in, some documents, and she's about to hand me back my passport. She says, "Do you have anything dangerous in your bag?" And I went, "Well, since you asked, I mean, I didn't say anything." And so I pull out one machete, 2 machete, 3 machete, 4, 5 machete, 6 machete. And then I'm pulling out all this equipment. Before you know it, there's about 8 cops in the coupe and watching through the window. And I pull out a tennis racket with the center cut out. And she looks at me and she goes, "What's that for?" And I go, "I put my body through that." And she goes, "Money." And I go, "Moja bushvidla." Got it.
So you did the performance.
Performance on the train on the border for 8 cops privately in my own coupe. And as I'm doing it, one guy had looked and said, "I think I've seen him before." I got it all the way through. All the cops. She gave me back my passport, safe trip, blah, blah. So, occasionally I do have really wonderful experiences with cops on borders.
Is it hard to be a performer in Slovenia?
Yes, because everybody's a bloody critic. And when I was raised, my mother's brother, my uncle, told me, if you can't say nothing nice, then say nothing at all.
So why do you keep coming back to Slovenia?
Because I'm stupid and I don't learn from my mistakes the first time. No, it's a wonderful country. I do have my roots here in regards to my mother's side of the family.
Oh, you do?
Yes.
Okay.
My mother's Slovenian, my father was Irish. And it was weird. There's a weird calling to me for this country. And considering a lot of abuse that I've gone through here professionally and personally, trying to learn the language and adapt and overcome certain obstacles, and I seem to have pulled it off. People aren't clapping as much, they're not into it, because years ago, everybody clapped, everybody screamed and yelled, and now they just look at us like we're bloody live YouTube, and sometimes it's really hard to get reactions on people. They're becoming numb. People say prostitution is the oldest profession, and if you talk amongst the crowd that do what I do, we consider it the oldest profession. It was, you had a talent, you went out and performed markets. There were no TVs and cell phones and all these other gadgets that we have today. Although I will say, my biggest tip ever from one person had come here in Slovenia. I was in Žmauc in Ljubljana, and a guy calls me over and said, "Would you like a drink?" I said, "Sure." And he shook my hand and he said, "Don't look at it until the morning." And the next morning it was €500 here in Slovenia. That was absolutely, and that shocked me. I mean, I think my biggest pull in one day is £1,300 in Belfast. But I did a show here for Lent. I had 400 people watching me. I made €25. I listen today to anything from rap to techno to house to classic to reggae to punk, metal, blues. This song, it's from a South African band. It's called I Think You Freaky. The Antwerp, really good band. Not well known in the European structure.
Okay, I think we're getting a little bit carried away here.
It's not me.
I see you have some. I see you have some great moves.
You know, my mother always said I had a face for radio.
So we're listening to, once again,
The Antwerp, I Think You Freaky, and I Like You a Lot.
that was Silas's musical choice of the day.
Well, it's because you wouldn't let me play any of the ruder stuff. So.
You are listening to Land of Dreams. This week with Sajles Šinkovec, a Northern Irish in Slovenia.
Move, boys! I started swing about 14 years ago here.
You started teaching swing.
I brought it here, actually. I left New York and I went to every single dance studio in Ljubljana with the CV out of Manhattan and dancing off Broadway. And they all said, no, thank you. And I went ahead and started achieving things independently and got things going and started students. The only thing that bothers me about Slovenians is gossiping. I was always a victim of gossip here, and it was a shame because where I'm from, if I have something to say to you, I will say it directly to your face, not behind your back, and it won't come back to you after 4 months, blah, blah, blah. And I think in that way, a lot of Slovenes are chicken. They're just, they'll sit there and smile and look you in the eye, and the moment you leave the table, they'll go, it's fake and it's rude. And it's not just Slovenians, but it's a bit more common here than I found in other countries. I individually have changed this country forever. Swing, I don't know when it would have come here perhaps, or, how many years later. I've had students from other classes meet and have children, and it's continued to grow and affect the rest of the world and parts of Europe and so on and so forth. So it's a little thing called ripples. When you throw a rock into a lake, it creates ripples and those ripples spread. And I was a big bloody stone and went kerplunk. And I'm grateful I got to do something good for my country.
It's a hard life though, isn't it? Being on the road all the time and out on the streets and trying to make a living and going from place to place, from town to town.
Yeah, well, everything has its price. A lot of people are almost envious because they go, la, 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 you get to go here, you get to go there.
At one point in your life, do you plan to settle down somewhere?
No, it's not for me. I don't know, it is a hard life, but again, everything has its price, so. I'm naked on the radio, na 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 na. Naked on the radio.
So where are you off to tomorrow, Silas? I can see your suitcases here in this living room.
I'm off to Vienna and then Prague and then so on and so forth.
So does that mean that we have to say goodbye, right?
Yeah, I think my deportation hearing is at 9 a.m, so depending on what happens. No, you don't have to say goodbye. Always will pop through here and there. Oh, advice for Slovenians, yes. Represent your country well to each other. Be kind to each other. There are only 2 million Slovenians here. That's not a lot. So you're kind of a rare species. So take care of each other. It's the best I could say. Se vidimo.
Okay, safe journey and good luck with everything.
Get drunk, get laid. Woo!
So where are you sleeping tonight?
On Thor. Thor, if I get lucky tonight. Masha! Move, boys! Can I say fuck on the air? Can't say fuck on the air? Why the fuck not?
Land of Dreams. Take the trip with us every Wednesday at 11:20 a.m. and every Sunday at 2:30 p.m. Only
On Radio SI.